Hi, I just wanted to talk about this topic because it came up today in some coaching I've been doing recently. So I love the 16personalities.com site where you can take your Myers-Briggs type indicator and learn your personality type. If you've never heard of it, I suggest go there. It's incredible. I have anyone I coach take that because it's kind of like ground zero of understanding self. And then we just branch off from there. It's not to pigeonhole you, but it's a place to start off. And so you'll get 4 letters, like an INFP, something like that. And each letter signifies something. So I am an F, a feeler type. But someone else could be a T, which is a thinker type. And what I've found in relationships, whether it's intimate or just any types of relationships, oftentimes we're judging the other for them being who they are. Oftentimes a feeler type is judging the thinker type for not reacting, responding in the way they think they should, with all those feelings. And then the thinker type could be judging the feeler type for being so emotional and dramatic. Yes, this happens a lot. So the thinker types tend to be more logical and direct. And their answers, their responses can appear cold and uncaring. That is a common complaint of the feelers in their lives. Don't you care? Your tone sounds so mean. And they have no idea. They don't think that they're doing anything wrong. They're just being direct because they love things to be direct. And they do not like emotions all around the message. And the feeler type wants you to fluff the message with softness and kindness and maybe even beat around the bush to give the answer. So you can see how we could judge each other so easily in this scenario. So I would suggest, if this is resonating for you, to go to 16personalities.com, check out your profile, check out the profiles of, or have your family members or your intimate partner take the test too. And instead of making each other wrong, which is so much of what we're doing, like I swear, I want to start a movement of no more making each other wrong, no more blame and shame. Let's get curious. And let's understand each other better. How about that? Let's be on the same team instead of being offended or taking something personally. When all of that is heavy and it gets in the way of moving towards harmony. Yes, this is the direction we need to go. This is the direction that would be just so incredible. Now, I always like to give this little caveat. If you're dealing with a full-on narcissist, a diagnosable narcissist, none of what I'm saying is going to work. That's a completely different scenario where you definitely would need some help. But honestly, people in general need help with this because we weren't given a manual on how to communicate, how to understand each other. You know, I'm just going to say this now too. Why are we not teaching more psychology in high school? I know so many kids that get to college and they take that Psych 101 and they go, wow, I just learned a lot about me and understand myself better and understand my upbringing better. And I just feel like more psychology. So, because psychology is the study of human behavior. And one of my favorite topics is understanding personality. That's the first place I go when I'm coaching someone, is understanding personality, understanding theirs, and they understanding themselves and those around them and how they're interacting. So back to the thinker and the feeler types. So honestly, if you're a thinker type, my wisdom for you today is most likely you need to learn, you need to practice some softness. And yes, I know it's natural for you to be direct. You can be direct, but I know as a feeler, I've learned to be more direct. I I've had to practice the opposite. So feelers can practice being more direct and understanding the thinkers rather than judging them and assuming right away that they're being mean and they're being cold. And the thinkers, hey, you got to pause too and understand this person feels first before they think. That's kind of how it works too. If you're a feeler from the Myers-Briggs, you innately feel first before you think. And if you're a thinker type, you innately think before you feel. So just pause for a minute and consider people in your life. Are you making someone wrong? Are you expecting them to be like you? And what I think is a beautiful practice is recognizing the plethora of nuances to our personalities. And rather than making someone wrong, let's get curious. Let's try to understand more. Let's ask more questions. Let's bring in grace and no more being offended and taking things personally. It's a waste of your life force. And I say that because taking things personally was literally destroying my life. And it's one of the weaknesses of my trait as an INFP. And so I attacked that baby. I was like, no more. I am sick of being hurt all the time. And so I do not take things personally anymore. And it's so beautiful to not carry that energy around anymore. And it's also beautiful being curious. It's beautiful to understand someone. That is love. You know, we throw that word love around, but that's what it means. To be loving is to try to understand someone. And this just popped in my head, so I'm going to say it. The View, I'm just going to pick on that show for a minute. I will not watch that show. I don't see kindness in their language, in how they communicate with each other, or even to their guests if they disagree with their guests. There's no curiosity. There's an understanding, seeking to understand. No, there's no pursuing their perspective. There is judgment, and there's not an understanding for different personality types, and there's not an understanding for different belief systems and how that belief system came about. It's making someone wrong. We are in a cancel culture, and that is counter to curiosity and understanding each other and knowing that we can disagree and still be peaceful and harmonious. Think of your intimate family. How many times have you been angry at your family member? Yelled, screamed, been so mad at them, upset, but you still love them, right? Yeah, we have to extend that feeling to the worldly family. Bring more love in. Okay, that's it for today, thinkers and feelers. Let's seek to understand each other.